Hi, and welcome to day 3 of our manifesting project challenge. And today's main energy is challenges. And I feel like all of this is coming up really bold in the beginning because this is only day 3. Is because first of all, there's a lot of darkness in the world, and I keep sharing this because this is not a lie. This is not something I made up. A lot of us are very afraid of what's happening in the world. There's wars, there's just chaos. Everywhere you look, every time you turn on social media or the television, even if, like me, you don't watch the news, you cannot help but be engulfed in the darkness. And when you're manifesting, those energies will reflect. So, this is why I share with you to try to be as serene, as positive, just really gifting yourself, celebrating, doing the little things that make you happy. Because I work with many of you. If you had $1 million in your bank account, maybe you wouldn't need, manifesting money, right? Because you already manifested $1 million. So I know that 90% of you that are watching this don't have a lot of money. Maybe you don't have your dream job. Maybe you're not with your beloved. Maybe you haven't started the family. Whatever it is you are manifesting and whatever reason you have behind saying, "Hey, let me give this a chance." 30 days is not a long time. It's a month. And months go every single 4 weeks, right? 5 weeks at most. So today, the energy of challenges was so bold because something crazy happened. Now, like I shared with you, I'm manifesting $30,000. There's no if, there's no ands, there's no buts. This is the way. And one of the things that I was going to do, because every single day I'm taking action towards the steps to co-create these intentions, because I have another one that I haven't shared with you, that I'm co-creating with the universe, with God, with the Almighty, with the I am that I am. And when I go to my KDP, which is my Amazon books, my best-selling book was blocked. When I talked to the virtual AI assistant, it told me to email a human. So I messaged them, but today is Sunday, so I was getting no feedback. And then I finally got an email, and nothing real concrete was said in the email. There was no real reason behind the blocking of my best-selling book. So, of course, I went to Claude and I put in what the email said, what the virtual AI person said, and AI said that I need to call them. And I said, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, what if there was something in the book that the dark energies do not want me to share with the world, that do not want me to share with you all? So I did a couple of videos. Sometimes we have to take, and I was upset. I was so upset because I'm like, I'm trying to do this, and here comes a huge challenge, a huge stone in my path. But instead of crying or, oh, it doesn't work, I don't even know why I tried, because these are things that humans do. We tell each other stories because one thing does not turn out how we would like it to, or we feel like it's too hard, or we failed that test for the 3rd time, so we feel like we're never going to pass it. And what we do is we don't go again because we're so afraid of failure. But it is failure that builds you. It is failure that shows you how strong you are. And it's through the failure that you achieve the greatness. I always quote Walt Disney because I'm a huge Disney fan, and there is, of the many movies that they made of him, there's one movie that shows that he lost everything. They stole his first cartoons. They were making money with his work, and he was uneducated in the system, in the copyright, in the small writing, in the contracts, and they stole, I think it was Steamboat Willie from him. And they started selling it in the pictures and they were making money, and Walt was completely cut off. Not only that, his best animator ran away and went to work for another company. So he lost his little animation store. He lost his best animator, and he was just, all the doors were closing on him. And in that darkness, a little mouse was born. In that dire moment, a little mouse showed up who became Mickey Mouse. And today, fast forward, 100 years of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse still being famous? So you cannot allow the challenges to tell you a lie. And that is what we're going to really talk about today, is how to dismantle the lie, how to really, really go all the way down into this lie that has been told to you over and over and over of why you haven't achieved whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. So, of course, you could read the printable, what I share with you. We're going to break down the prompts. So today's like, why do you feel it is not for you? What is inside of you that says you do not deserve this dream, or that you cannot have it or achieve it? Remember I told you not so long ago, I said, what are you eating? Hold on. She made me lose track of thought. Okay, so remember I told you that. See, now I don't remember what I told you. Well, anyways, the whole thing is, why do we feel that it's not for us? What is inside of us that says we don't deserve it? That this dream or what it is that we want, we can't have it, you know? And like I said, I'm trying to manifest something that's really big. And in manifesting this, many years, I've told myself, maybe I'm not good enough for it. Maybe my grammar is not, the best. I told you guys I suck at marketing. And a lot of the things that I do is that if I was good at marketing, at advertising, that would probably turn a huge leaf for me, right? And a lot of times I talk myself out of it because I'm thinking, I have to invest X amount of money, like big money, right? I have to invest like $1,000 into advertising. And then my mind says, that lie tells you, well, $1,000 is a lot of money. And if you invest $1,000 and you don't sell anything and you don't get back your $1,000, you've lost $1,000. So then that little voice that is always trying to keep you down, that is always feeding you those lies over and over and over, that is what you need to dismantle. Because then when I sat down and I did this work, and I thought to myself, I spend over $2,000 in rent every month. And yes, you're right, that's security. But what about food? Every time I go to the supermarket, which is like multiple times a week, I spend over $100. That's about $1,000 a week, or a week and a half that I'm spending in groceries. I go to Starbucks every day. So we do not notice that little voice is feeding us nonsense. So why do you feel this is not for you? And so I went into that. Why do I feel that I don't deserve it? Why do I feel that it's not for me, or that it's not going to happen? What inside of me, what story has been fed to me over and over and over? And one of them was, you didn't go to college to study that, and that's why you're not good at it. But here's another thing. I might not have gone to college for that precise, career shift that I want to do. But I've been watching YouTubes. I've read hundreds, if not more, books on the subject. And what is college but education? So I'm super educated on what I'm trying to achieve. So these are all things that as you write it down, you will realize. And I think I found my biggest lie was that I went to an event and I shared, because I'm very bold, I'm not afraid, I don't mind speaking up, but I shared my insight, and the person, she walked all over me. But not only did she do that to me, she did that to everyone at the event. It was so bad that I remember coming right back up and telling her, so what you're saying is no one's good enough. What do we have to do to be good enough? And she couldn't express it. She couldn't say it. Oh, you have to keep you have to keep trying, and you have to try different ways, and da da da. And I was just like, because I'm there and I'm listening to the others, and I'm like, this person's great. I would definitely take this person, even if you don't take me, which is fine. I'm like looking at other people that were great. I'm just like, and then that stuck with me, because those are things that hurt you. So then your body, your ego, your mind, your subconscious wants to take care of you because that hurt you so bad, put you in such a slump that it's like, no, you can't do this again. Remember what happened the first time, so then you don't give yourself that chance. So you have to really, and this is what these exercises, this is what they're doing. They're breaking it all down. Now, and this is what we're doing here. Let's break down the lie to its core. Let us unravel the lie and see it for what it is, a lie. What proof do you have that it will not work? I gave you a big old area because this is where I stopped. What proof do I have that it will not work? Yeah, I did a couple of runs. I went to that event, but that's it. That's it. I heard Mark Ruffalo being interviewed, and they told him, and that shook me to my core, because they told him, didn't you go to 800 casting calls and nobody took you? And he said, yeah. He said, yeah, it was a lot. And he says that he was about to give up, and I think his dad was in construction or something, and he goes, I'm a small guy, I had soft hands. I wasn't really that construction build type of man. And he says that he was throwing in the towel. And he says, and it made me cry. He says that his mom calls him and leaves him a voicemail and says, did I hear that you're giving up on your acting? I better not hear. You better get right back out there. I better not hear this. And, she called him by his full name. How moms are when they call us by our full names. If you've experienced a mom calling you by your full name, you know that they mean business. And he says that voicemail, that coming from his mom, he says that his mom never spoke to him like that. She was very soft, very optimistic, and the way that she told him really opened up something inside of him. And that's it. After that, it all shifted. And then that's the problem. These challenges, that challenge today, I could have been like, oh, well, I tried it. Did sell a few thousand copies. Great. But maybe whatever. And giving up on it. But what if that block is nothing more than for me to take that book, call Amazon, and be like, you know what? Y'all need to fix this shit. And now I'm going to invest $1,000 into advertising it. What if that's my big Mark Ruffalo moment or Walt Disney moment? I don't know. And here's another thing. What if it's not? What if it doesn't work? What if I lose the $1,000? Doesn't mean anything, because that book has already sold thousands of copies and it has touched hundreds of lives. I still get emails from people that are like, holy shit, this book has moved me. So my duty as someone of light energy is to make sure that that book goes to millions of people. Because if I got in from thousands of copies, I've gotten a few hundred people that have taken their time to message me. Imagine, and it's not about the messaging me. It's about me realizing and knowing and acknowledging that it has touched the lives of others. And that's my goal. That's my goal. Money is divine energy that comes through all the time. I don't do it for the money because I've given that book away for free. Look at this, I'm doing this as a gift. So it's not about the money. The money's going to come. It's about me realizing that I could give light to so many. And that if we all start sharing light, our worlds will shift and change. Because the controllers want to share darkness and chaos and wars and racism, and they want to divide blues and reds and greens and yellows. But the truth is that it's all a lie. We are love because we were created in the divine's image. We are God's gift to earth. And we are light and we are love in our core, in our center. All of that, chaos, that's a lie. So the truth is, you don't have any proof. And you will probably find some things, like I said, but I don't know, because I will not know until I do what I'm going to do. Because the truth is that you don't know until you know. So we're changing the language of how we speak. The whole point of this project that I'm sharing with you all is so you cannot take no for an answer. You do not allow no's. You do not allow it won't happen. It can't. Those words and energies are not allowed in your vocabulary, are not allowed in your life, your energy, and your vibration. How did you gain this knowledge? Was it something someone said? Is it because you have tried it before and it hasn't worked? Where's the proof? Again, the whole point of this is for you to break. It's like a hypothesis. A scientific experiment, the scientific method is creating a hypothesis to prove that something will or will not work. That's what scientists do. They need evidence of something working or not working. But even scientists today that believed in the Big Bang Theory and the evolution of apes have noticed that it's all a lie. That it was something that was fed to us to keep us small, to think that's just the world blew up and we just came from, I don't know. There's a creator that created us, and we have been created in that divine image. Therefore, you are a creator that creates, and there is no reason for you not to have anything and everything you desire. We need to take this 99% of non-manifestors into 100% of super manifestors. And our world will be a utopia, a bliss, a heaven on earth. And at the end I said, is this real proof? Is this hypothesis of the story you express over and over real? You're going to break everything in this exercise that you're doing. And I want you to sit down, quiet, maybe add some beautiful singing bowls in the background. Take a good 30 minutes to really sit down with your desire and everything and everyone and situations, experiences that told you that it was not able to be. And I want you to decipher it and see it as a lie that has been told and shared over and over that is not any longer available in your now moment. Because today You will not take no for an answer. Today, the door's open. Today, it is yes. You can have whatever you want and desire. I know that I know. And stay tuned for behind the scenes because I have a funny story to share with you all. You'll have a blessed day. Namaste.